Such a pleasure to be with you all here today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kathy Wilder, and I am the executive director up at Camp Stevens. And we are your Episcopal camp. I hope I'll see a lot of you at your parish retreat next month. Very exciting, ever-growing parish retreat. I didn't bring any pie with me today, but I did bring cookies and bread, so don't miss that on the patio afterwards. I really want to thank your outreach committee and for your thrift shop for featuring us during this month, and just the ongoing friendship and love that we've received from St. Peter's is you really can't count all the ways. So thank you very much for your amazing support through good times and bad. We've appreciated you. So many of you may not know this, but I worked at Camp Stevens during the fire that happened at camp in 2007. And it was our own special fire. We had a couple of teens trespass on the property and camp out, and they left some coals. And from the time we first saw smoke, it was only 15 minutes until we were running off camp with the St. Dunstan's choir and all their purses and the San Diego State students. We had to run off camp. And 48 hours later, I found myself back on property with just a little bit of sleep under my belt and a lot of worry. And we were standing kind of on top of the hill where there are summer camp cabins. Had been summer camp cabins below. I realized in my haze that I was actually not standing there by myself. I looked to my right, and there was a firefighter standing there next to me who seemed to be crying. And so I reached over and just, put my hand on her shoulder and asked, are you doing okay? Everything all right? And she shared with me in that moment that she had been a camper at Camp Stevens. And she had come up through a foster care partnership that we had for many years. And before she had come to Camp Stevens, she had never been in the wilderness or in an outdoor setting like that, never been off of pavement. And she was pretty scared to come. She didn't know what to expect or what to think about it. And I was so happy to hear that when she arrived and she was in her adventure group, that she was met with love and friendship and adventure. And the word that I always really sticks with me is that she said silliness. She also had developed a really deep connection with the outdoors during that week. She described her transformation as opening a door that she didn't even know was closed. She also shared that when she returned home that her personal road got pretty rocky, and she ended up spending some time in prison. When the opportunity came to choose a vocational training program, she remembered her love of her time at Camp Stevens and picked wildland firefighting. And now, 5 years out of prison and now an employee of CDF, she had been chosen somehow to fight our fire at our camp. She said to me in that moment, this is where it all started. This is where I found out how else it could be and how else I could be in the world. I just love that story in that moment. And I think about her a lot, especially when I'm in a dark place, a time of turbulence and trial. When she had those times, she dug back into herself and thought about who she wanted to be, how she wanted to be in the world. And she did the heroic thing, which was make change and do it. And she was a product of a system that she didn't even build. She was a hero. She is a hero. Years later, I saw her at Peter Bergstrom's 40th anniversary retirement celebration, and still part of that community. Today we hear about another journey, Jesus' journey in the wilderness, and he's facing some dark times himself, some trials, tribulations, in the face of a known evil. I suggest that the root of this evil is power and empire. So let's break down each temptation. The first is turning stones to bread. Use your power to find a quick fix just for you. Throw yourself down. Get saved by the angels. Use your power to gain legitimacy without true connection or vulnerability. And 3, gain all these kingdoms as long as you give your allegiance to me, to a known evil, giving yourself to a known evil to gain power. I don't know about you folks, but that sounds familiar to the trials that we are facing in our world right now. We are living in a world where there are ICE raids on our streets, a genocide in Palestine, a resurgence of antisemitism, an epidemic of school shootings, and not to mention the ongoing attacks of our transgender family members. These are acts of empire. While empire sells security and order, this is done through force, built on systems of oppression. And Jesus refuses. Jesus refuses all of this. He resists what we, as a part of the Episcopal community, must stand against now. The belief that safety can somehow be purchased with someone else's rights and with someone else's life. Death and division and displacement spreads not because people are bad, but because fear is allowed to rule. And how do we find the courage and strength to keep moving forward, to get out of darkness? Where do we go from here, and where is God in all of this? In January, you all hosted one of my very favorite authors and humans in the world, the Reverend Canon Stephanie Spellers. I don't know how many people went to that, but it was a wonderful evening here. And I really appreciate that you arranged for that to happen on my birthday. Thank you. Yeah, great birthday present. So just, if you don't know her, she was the canon for evangelism and reconciliation for presiding Bishop Curry, and she's written a ton of books that are all excellent. She's now doing the good work of stretching out into the world to better understand the role of the church in these challenging times, in these changing times. A quote from her is, Jesus entered as he did in this world, where he did, doing what he did because God needs us to finally comprehend the truth that God is not a sky king who heads up an empire. God is the love that gives itself away for the sake of more love. Empire is fear. God is love. Choose love every time. It can be pretty scary to take a brave, unpopular, sometimes socially rejected path. And when we do this, we are leaving behind the constructs of the world that sometimes make us more comfortable. And I know I find myself in my own sort of wilderness in these moments, stripped of comfort and safety and order. But much like that firefighter and Jesus, I end up feeling more connected to myself, more love in my community, and ultimately closer to God when I take that chance. So, I want to leave you with some tangible things to think about doing. The first is revolutionary patience. I first heard that phrase from the Reverend Carter Heyward, who is one of the Philadelphia 11, one of the first 11 women to be ordained in the Episcopal Church. And if you haven't seen that movie, it's fantastic. Got to check it out. It's a piece of history that we all should know more about. And she talked at the Diocese of Los Angeles' convention in 2024. And when she suggested that we all have revolutionary patience, there was an audible sort of exasperated groan in the room. It was only days after the election that year, but it was definitely felt in the room. She was suggesting that we need to start doing the work now, but we may never see the fruit of our labor. We never see this result, the beloved community that we're aiming for in the future. But we must do the work now and have patience, but still invest today. A good friend of mine is a county commissioner in northern Michigan, And she sent a message to her supporters in her e-news, I subscribe, that says, it just turns out that the arc of justice is much longer and messier than we imagined. I thought that was a good revolutionary patience thing to think about. So, investing today is generational. This is every step you take today is for the future, not just for the future you'll see, but the future beyond. The second is from another author who I love, spoken about here many times, Valerie Kaur, author and activist. And that is the Sikh faith tenet, which is see no stranger. And this one can be so hard, especially when we're in a world that is telling us that we are more divided than we are connected. And that is not true. We must keep listening. We tell campers all the time, you can stay curious. Stay curious about each other. Wonder why. Wonder how. Get to the root of what is going on. Because the reality is the only way that we're going to move forward is to find common ground. And that can feel impossible, but it is the brave step. It is really our human connection that will carry this world forward. And I like to think of it as like a golden thread stretching between each of us. And that is fueled by the love of God. The final is embrace change. This one can be hard too. It's also exciting. And Peter Bergstrom, the longtime executive director at Camp Stevens, taught me this one. He was a great mentor of mine. And we faced our own challenges in that place. And he actually, the first time I really heard him say this was right after that fire. So optimistic. But we faced these changes, these challenges. So we had a big fire. We survived the pandemic. But we did that by embracing change. And we have found ourselves with the vision to not just build back what we've lost and known, but what we found ourselves to be, what is possible. We are expanding and reimagining our place in the world. And this ethic has led us to our new vision statement, which is envisioning a world of wholehearted belonging. We weave this through everything we do now, every day. And not only has this opened up new opportunities for things happening at camp, but also new partnerships, new creative solutions, more relationships that we never expected. So, speaking of change, some of you may have heard that my wife, the Reverend Hannah Wilder, and I are moving to Reno. She's been called to be the rector of St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Sparks, which we're very excited about. And this is a big change, not just for our family, but for our places which we have served. After visiting Reno, I've realized one very important thing, and that is that I really need to up my belt buckle game to live there. A lot more turquoise in my life. And I wrote my departure email to the community, which is, felt very hard to do. I did write about embracing change and how it really has been our guiding light. And I know camp and all the places that we've touched will take this opportunity to let that light of change shine even brighter. Really, the hardest part is saying goodbye. And it was very important to me to be here with you at St. Peter's today to say goodbye. And thank you. Because you all have inspired me to do all the work that we are talking about today with your support for Camp Stevens and for my family. It is a reminder that no matter where we are in the world and how tired we are from this work of being brave, that we are connected, that our spirit of connection and belonging and support for each other will lift us up every step of the way. Oh, I'm going to leave you with this traveler's prayer. Life is short, and we do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who make this journey with us. So be swift to love and make haste to be kind. And the blessing of God, who made us, who loves us, and who travels with us, be with you now and forever. Amen.